Hey, welcome back to Effortless Ecology. I'm Sierra, and we're going to chat a little bit about the individual when it comes to ecology, effortless ecology. Ecology is the study of an organism and its environment, right? And so, if we're going to think about effortless ecology as a concept that we can use to address the polycrisis that we're currently existing in, as well as our own relationships with others in our life and our community, as well as our relationship with ourself, one of the first places to start, probably the place to start, is going to be with us, the individual organism. And basically, right, we're living in this time where we're losing a lot of connection to one another, and that's based on our newfound connection to the virtual sphere, the ever increasing speed of daily life for many of us. You know as technology continues to develop and our careers continue to grow, and the demands of our modern world continue to pile up on everyone across the globe. And so, for me, I'm obviously coming from a Western standpoint. I do live in the United States. And so, thinking about what does it look like for us to do something about where we're going and where we want to go. The first place we get to start is with us. And yes, there are so many systemic issues that at some point, like we're going to get to, and I'm going to share a little bit about that. But today I want to talk a little bit about the 4 tenets that I personally identify as being the most helpful framework for us moving forward as individuals, as we interact with ourselves and with the world. And so those 4 tenets are integrity, responsibility, honesty, and authenticity. And so 4 main points. Integrity, right, is doing the right thing, doing what you say you're going to, and doing it the right way, right? And so, we live in this time where a lot of people aren't their word. If you live in America like me, we live in a very litigious society, right? So that means that people take each other to court a lot. And part of that means that we're breaking our word, breaking our bond. It used to be that, back in the day, people would handshake, and that handshake meant the world. And that handshake was your integrity, was your bond, and was your personhood, basically. People knowing if they could trust you. And so our integrity, as being a main tenet of the individual organism in the effortless ecology kind of world and in society, means being in integrity with ourselves as well as with others. Responsibility. I might use responsibility and accountability interchangeably because, right, responsibility is claiming ownership over your life and the things that happen, claiming ownership over the effects that come from your choices, the consequences from the decisions that you make, right? And so that's another thing is we see there's a lot of blaming. There can be a lot of blaming. And in some cases, yes, there are things that people do that are not right, okay, that are out of integrity. And also, when we step into a place of responsibility, taking ownership over our life, how powerful does that look as we move forward into creating a world and a life that we personally want to have? Honesty. Honesty is the best policy. End of story. Pretty much anywhere. And we're not going to get into talking about white lies, but in any case, being honest with ourselves about what's working and what's not working with our life, being honest with ourselves about our responsibility, and being honest with ourselves about our integrity. And when we aren't doing what we say we're going to do, those things all kind of come together. But the basis level of it is we have to be honest with ourselves. I have to be honest with myself when I look in the mirror and I look at my life, and I have to be honest when I look into my relationships and when I'm in relationship, because those relationships, when they're built on dishonesty, you're starting from a shaky foundation. It's not a perfect square. because you don't actually know. It's wobbly, right? I don't know if that actually makes sense, but you get what I'm saying. Honesty is the best policy. And that also means not only like being truthful towards one another, but truthful with ourselves about our lives. And finally, authenticity, which is being true to ourselves, like the essence of our being. And this goes a little bit more into, all of these kind of touch on like the self-actualization concept, which is the concept of becoming a more full version of ourselves, discovering more about ourselves. But authenticity is being able to dig underneath all of the layers that we have accumulated as we've become who we are today, to look back and see where our behaviors are coming from, maybe experiences in the past that don't serve us anymore. What kind of armor have we put on? What kind of masks have we put on to create this version that we think is more palatable? And what's underneath authenticity is also the belief that we are worthy, our internal belief that we are worthy. I am worthy. You are worthy of love and acceptance. And the first step of that is accepting ourselves. And so digging into authenticity and what that looks like. And so these 4 tenets, like I said, this is like the level of individual. And when we think about ecology as a concept, right, the study of an organism and its environment and all of the kind of things that come into play, the organism would be like just one individual thing, not the species, right? The species is the entire population of that organism, like the many different versions, right? Right now, we're just talking about us as the individual, as the organism that falls into this larger picture that is the ecology of our society, of our communities, of our world. And all of those things are so distinctly connected. And that's what effortless ecology is about, is finding these connections, being willing to look in the mirror as well as outward, outside of ourselves, being in integrity with what we want to see in the world, being honest with ourselves about what's going on, taking responsibility for what we want to create and what we have created in our lives, and being our authentic selves, and realizing that each one of us, every single one of us has something beautiful to add to this world when we can connect with the trueness of our being, our soul, our essence, whatever you want to call it. And so, yeah, effortless ecology, we're going to touch on, the ever widening circles and the Venn diagram of all of these things together. But first, we're going to be starting with the individual. And so the following videos are going to be about those 4 tenets: integrity, responsibility, honesty, and authenticity. And thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you. Please like this video. Please comment if you have any questions, share it if you feel so inclined, and I look forward to seeing you next time.